Hey, hey, how's it going, everybody? I'd like to welcome you guys to A God-Ordained Unions. I feel like it's been a long time.
Hmm.
Mm, yes, yes, welcome. This is Terrence and Jill.
Hey, everybody.
Yes, this is a ministry designed to help, support, and position singles
Yeah.
to help them find their soulmate.
Yes. The
Yes,
God ordained mate.
yes, we are newlyweds for maybe one more month. We go in the 2 year mark next month, or this month actually. So we're excited about that. But as a result, we're not here to give marital advice.
No, we
We,
don't give marital
yes,
advice.
we are here to talk about our experiences and hopefully, prayerfully, it will help you in your journey while you're in God's waiting room.
Yes, yes. And it's really designed to hey, Z. It's really, this ministry is really designed to help, shed some light on some things that you could be overlooking or ignoring, good or bad, that could be blocking you from marriage. And so that's what this channel is about. We uplift and inspire, and we keep it real. And this ain't we don't sugarcoat anything, uh, because that's just not us.
Yeah,
It's
this
not us.
this is definitely, to help those that feel like, some of you may feel like you're in this by yourself
Yeah.
and that you're the only one feeling what you're feeling or the only one going through what you're going through. And we're here to say that we've been in God's waiting room
Yep.
for a very long time.
Yep. So if this is your first time on our channel, please subscribe. Please share our videos. Please like all that good stuff. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to our website right there. And join our mailing list. And as a free gift, we'll give you um, like a list of some of the prayers that we prayed when we were in God's waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to develop your own prayers because it's the effectual fervent prayer of the righteous that availeth much is your personal prayer. But what we've learned and what we've come to know is that praying the word will never return void.
Yeah.
So that's basically what our prayers was just
Mm-hmm.
all about the word. So
Yeah.
join us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we go live. um, Terrence goes, he does a little word of the day, like a what is it? Like 60 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
60-second, like
Short.
short. That's what not a little short. That's what I meant to say. Couple of times a week. And we'll also put some videos on the timeline. So yeah, so that's who we are, that's what we do. Announcement. Oh, first of all, last weekend we were in Maryland. Shout out to Nina Crump of NC Ministries. She put on an awesome women's empowerment event. Her event every March is called Life Support, and this year's theme was put your oxygen mask on
Mm.
first. And so it was a sold out event. It was very nice. It was intimate, but it was a great crowd. And so it was good being around some familiar faces and meeting some new people.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our family showed up and showed out, and Priscilla and Donita came, and so it was beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend. You got to
Mm-hmm.
hang out with your father-in-law.
Yeah. I had a blast hanging out with Pop. Yeah.
Okay. So that was good. And I was laughing because my sister, she saw somebody had, there was an affirmation, and she was like, "Ooh, y'all," she said, what she say? She said, "Yeah, you don't believe in this right here. You don't say this." Because the word it was an affirmation on the table that said, "I am enough." And she was like, "Jill, look, you don't believe in this, right? You don't like to say this, right?" And it was funny. It was more funny because I was like, "Oh, you be paying attention to our videos on YouTube." She was like, "Yeah, I be listening." So, and that's my one of my older sisters. So I was laughing at that, but it was good to for them to be there, Sean and Marty to be there, and yeah, it was a good weekend. And then found time to do date night number 14.
Oh yeah, we're gonna always find time. That's the whole point of doing them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just to be creative.
and well,
So
to find the time. I mean, the one thing you have to understand, if you're going to be in a long-term relationship, you got to invest in that relationship.
yeah,
So life gonna happens whether you want it to or not. You still
yeah,
got to figure out how to make this enjoyable for each, and how to remind each other why we got together in the first place.
yeah. So those of
Mhm.
you who don't know, we're doing 50 dinner dates for 2024,
Mm.
and we're just being creative. The catch is that we cannot repeat a restaurant, and preferably restaurants that we've never been to,
Mhm.
because we want to. The whole point is to explore new environments, new settings, and to do
Yeah,
new things, to
new
try new things, new
experiences.
experiences. And so it doesn't matter if it's like fine dining or if it's fast food, because we could have went to Cane's, because we never went to Cane's.
Mhm.
We could have went to Cane's on the way back, but we decided to stop at Stephanie's in Greensboro. And
Mm.
so
She got Kool-Aid.
you
Woo!
got Kool-Aid. That
That was
thing
off
was
the chain. I'm talking about
sugar.
Stephanie
Oh,
selling
Stephanie's
Kool-Aid.
got Kool-Aid. I thought
Oh
you
my
said I
goodness.
got Kool-Aid. I was like, we got
Hey,
Kool-Aid.
hey, it's like, think about home, diabetes in
Yeah,
a cup. I'm
yeah,
trying to tell you.
yeah. So we'll put that
Woo!
video
But
up,
that was awesome.
because we did a whole video, not just a short. So I gotta find time to put music and stuff to it. So we did find time to, and because we had to do 14, because last week you had dental issues, so we didn't want to go out because you couldn't hardly eat. So yeah. Anyway, so we did find time to do date them. And actually, when Saturday we were going to do it in Maryland, Priscilla had found us a very quaint restaurant called the Treehouse downtown DC. But by the time we left the event, I mean, I was so exhausted and tired. And we got to the hotel. We got back to the hotel. We literally went to the bar of the hotel, bought a bottle of wine to take upstairs. Like, we were just so tired. So yeah.
Yeah, we
So
just ate at Lone Star, and we didn't count that because we go to
not
Lone Star
long
all the
stuff,
time.
not long
What was
stuff.
it? What was it?
Longhorns.
Longhorn. We went to Longhorn,
Yeah.
but we didn't count it because we go there all the
Yeah,
time.
we couldn't count that. So we couldn't count that. So, but yeah, so we was
But it
gonna
was
figure
all
it out.
good.
So, but it was all good. So, um, next Saturday, the 13th, it is coming quickly. Man, shout out to everybody who bought our t-shirts. Baby, can you? I didn't even realize this this t-shirt was hot in Maryland. So if you have not registered for Single, Saved, and Serving, that's my virtual masterclass on the 13th, which is not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. Please register. It's only $37. And let me tell you something. If you are called to serve, in which you are, if you are serving, and if you take if there's any type of transaction with money, or you plan to have any type of transaction with money, even if somebody is trying to give you a donation, you need to be set up as a legal entity. And so I'm going to go over the 4 legal entities that a servant leader usually has: either a ministry, either a social enterprise, which is a for-profit mission-driven business, either a public charitable nonprofit, or a private foundation nonprofit. So I'm going to go over all of those, and I'm going to also break down social media in all this. So if you are on social media and you want to monetize, if you're putting content out there and you're not getting compensated, and you want to do that, I'm going to be breaking all of that down as well. How Terrence and I are compensated from YouTube, all that great stuff. I'm going to be sharing all of that on next Saturday, the 13th. So register. You can click the link in the comments, and yeah, y'all better get in. So I think I sold more t-shirts than I did getting people to register. So if you want the t-shirt, you can also go on the website. It's on back order. It's on back order. And so, yeah. So, okay, we put this topic up here, why God is taking you through this process. But the truth of the matter is that we want to reveal something to you.
You and your intros. Yeah, we're going to be talking about why God takes you through um, sometimes a discouraging process.
Yeah.
To find true love, to find your soulmate.
Yeah. But it's based on our new framework for
Yes.
God-Ordained Union
Yes.
that we
We're
finally
excited
nailed
about
down.
this.
We finally, let me tell y'all something. We've been going over this framework for months, trying to get it right, trying to, we will go back and tweak. We'll say, no, not this one. We'll change our words,
Yeah.
but we came up with 7 words that every process, every godly process hones in on.
Yeah.
And we think we got it right. And that's the framework that we're using now with A God-Ordained Union, how we are going to be coaching anyone who, wants personal coaching, what we're going to be really talking about here over the, course of this ministry. We also want to, we plan to do a curriculum where we can train the trainer, like if other churches want to adopt and adapt this concept this framework that we've come up with. We also were planning to 2025 to do an event here in Charlotte and actually train through or actually go through the whole process. But we're gonna just basically give you an overview now of the process. It's 7 words. So why God is taking you through this process? The truth of the matter is that
everything you do is a process.
Everything that God created
is a process.
Everything that He has created, from plants to trees to childbirth to hair growth.
Yeah.
Everything is a process. And so we put that up there to discouraging, because sometimes I didn't put it here, but the title was a discouraging process, because I think a lot of people think that going through trying to find their soulmate is very discouraging, is a discouraging process. But I can promise you it is, and I can't compare apples to oranges, but you know what you can bear as much as I know what I can bear. For me, the process that is discouraging to me is weight loss. And so I cried. This morning I cried. After my husband went to work, I cried. I've never been, this is the biggest I've ever been in my life. 2 years after marriage, I'm almost 40 pounds more. And so everything is a process, even to lose weight. Everything is a process. That's the sad truth. Everything is a process. And so, so what's the 7 words?
The 7 words are belief, faith, commitment, alignment,
I need to put it here.
fruitfulness, timing, and service. I'm excited about those words.
Belief,
faith.
Oh, I was like, why is it
What's wrong?
Okay. Faith,
Commitment, alignment.
Hold on. Alignment.
Fruitfulness.
Six.
Timing. And number 7 is service.
Wow. And
we really believe that as you go through your process to do anything, but especially what you're doing now, being in God's waiting room, you're going to go through these 7 steps.
In anything, whether it's marriage,
Yes.
waiting for your soulmate, whether it's weight loss, whether it's whatever it is.
Whatever you're doing, you have to do it through a process. And these 7 things will always be in that process that you're doing.
These 7 things will ensure that you get from A to B. And you can, if you look at the words, you can kind of see where we deviate the process, and when we're either got to start over or we fall off. What's the scripture?
And if you look at the words, you should see some type of escalation as you're going through. Just like, for an example, we got fruitfulness. Okay. Well, fruitfulness
is in the middle.
Is like number 5 in this list right here. You know, you're going to do those other things and build in yourself and what you're doing, and you're going to become fruitful as you're going through and you're building. Mm-hmm. So everything has an order, and you know, and we ended it with service.
Because going back to fruitfulness, and we don't want to, one of the things we had said, we were not going to go into all of these yet, because we're still building them out. We're building everything out. But fruitfulness, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, faith, hope, goodness, kindness, self-control. Fruitfulness in itself is a process. Mm-hmm. Fruitfulness in itself is you know, going through growth and going through a growth process. But we strategically put it in the middle, because when you have belief, once you're in alignment, once you are committed, you start to develop fruit. Yeah. And then once you you know, go through timing and service, you're developing more fruit. But that's with anything, because when I was telling, before we clicked on, I was telling, I was having a conversation with my husband. I was saying, even this channel, like, it could be very discouraging that we've been on here for 3 years, and we have not heard from anybody that follow us that they've gotten married. And that could be very, very discouraging. Like, are we really called to do this? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? It could be very, very, but one, we believe that marriages are going to come through. We believe that God called us to do this. 2, we're keeping it on doing this because that's the faith that we're in motion. Like,
that's the commitment.
Yeah. 3 is commitment. It's we committed to this. Like, we showing up. Absolutely. Even though we not hearing nobody say they get married yet, we're still committed to this. Alignment, being aligned with God's will. And, you know.
But here's the thing. Although we haven't heard anybody tell us that they're getting married, we are going to our second wedding since we got married from people that were at our wedding.
That's true.
So there
are relationships that look like they're about to lead to marriage.
And we know of relationships that started from them meeting at our wedding.
You're right.
So we know that some things are going on, and God is working in this area because we see it all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things we wanted to talk about, though, tonight, that we wanted to pull out, because we talked about alignment a couple of weeks ago, but one of the things we wanted to pull out, I was telling Terrence, I was like, you know what? Our followers, a lot of them are already here, already believe in God, already in alignment, already committed, already got fruit, already full of love and joy and peace. And they're out there serving. They're going to be on this single saving and serving next week. They're already serving. A lot of y'all, it's just a matter of timing.
Yeah. And that's why this particular live is important.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that about all of them for whatever reason, but this one here, you always hear that an idle mind is the devil's playground. So the great thing about you all, is that you're at a point where it's about God's timing. And the one thing to do when you're waiting on God is to serve.
Yeah.
That keeps your mind from being idle. It keeps you from sitting at home looking at that second hand and that minute hand tick, 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 and you try to, and then you get to going crazy, worrying about how long it's taking. That keeps you moving. That keeps you doing things that's very positive and very reassuring. And so this is the perfect timing for us to do this.
Yeah, and serving also God. That's a part of his command. That's what, he said, when you do this to, the homeless, when you are providing and giving and doing for the poor,
that's what he told the rich.
You're doing this. Yeah. This is how you're pleasing me and
sell
serving
everything you have and follow me. Give it to the poor and follow me.
So that serving, I think a lot of us try to deviate from that. Like, how you won't want God to give you something? And I mean, he's not a conditional God like that. But we're expecting to receive something, but we can't even give of ourselves to someone in need. And so and I mean, if you want to know how it plays out, look in the book of Ruth and look in the book of Esther. They were serving. They were serving when their mates came. They were literally serving. And so so you can't get around it. But going back to timing, everything is a season. And so I think part of timing, hey Crystal, I think a part of timing has to do with what you're doing in your single season, how you are really, really spending that time. And how you are spending your time in your single season. The other part of timing is the patience part of timing, which is also a fruit of the spirit, a fruit of the spirit. But also, I always look at timing in a different way. For me, timing is hello. For me, timing, I always look at timing as a time, like God has a window for you to do something. And while he got that window of opportunity available, you better jump in. And so many people, they miss their mate. The person came, but for whatever reason, they missed the mate. They missed the opportunity. It'll come around again, but just like the children, 40 years. So I always look at timing, not so much as this long wait. I look at it as short opportunities. Like, you got to be so in alignment with God and hearing God so that you won't miss, when that window of opportunity comes, when that person presents himself and it's like, wow, I was so blind, I couldn't even see him. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You also have to develop, empathy and to be honest, I'm saying empathy, but it could be anything that you're going to need for when you get to where God is going to place you. So you're going to be developing all along, developing different characteristics. Developing values and all these things
for that person. Terrence always says what you always say. He might need a little bit more patience with me, where his brother may not need. You know what I mean?
The formulas can be the same things, but the amount of each ingredient is different. Some people need a whole lot of patience. Some people need a little bit more empathy. Some people need a little bit more resilience. Some people need a little bit more whatever. So every person, every situation, every relationship is going to be different.
Yeah, because just think of someone who, like a woman who's been through trauma, like say childhood trauma. The husband that God has for her is equipped. He will equip him to have more patience, like you said, more empathy, more understanding.
So when those times come up, he has something within him that helps him be able to handle that.
And can you imagine the process of developing him to have that type of wife?
Of something that he's never experienced
Yeah.
firsthand, maybe, but he has to be able to handle it in order to be supportive of her.
Yeah, even with children,
Mhm.
some, coming into marriage with children, look what has to be,
Yeah.
hmm
Well, look at our situation.
yeah,
Although baby girl is grown, you and her clicked
right,
like y'all known each other forever,
yeah,
and you still click to this day. It's like she'll call you before she called me, and I'm like, wait, what's going
yeah,
on?
yeah, but
You know?
and yeah, but that was a
Mhm.
process. It was got, I don't know if I could handle it when I was 42 and
Right,
wanting my
right,
own child, my own
right.
baby, so it was a process for me to
Get to that
get
point
to that
where, yeah,
point. Yeah, where so yeah, everything is a process. It's a
everything.
process, and it's it's tailor made. It is
Mhm.
so tailor made. It's like, and I was also thinking, I was like, one of the things, and I said this many times on this channel, like I never wanted to come across like you're not ready and we're married and we were ready and we're perfect. I never wanted to come across like that. But the truth of the matter is that everything is a process.
It is. It is.
Everything
Yeah.
is a process. It's a development process.
Mhm.
It's a
And
development.
and not only are you learning about yourself in this process, you're also learning how to adjust and to become one in your marriage when you get married.
Which is hard,
It's very hard
especially the older you
because
get.
you just don't. Yeah, and I've said that since we've been together. The older
Hmm.
you are when you meet your soulmate, the harder it's going to be to adjust because we get stuck in our ways. You know, we've both been doing stuff for years.
And we've become normal in our dysfunction,
Hmm.
and so somebody challenged us to do something a different way, which could be better.
But you're used to doing it the way you've done it for
Yeah.
the last 20 years.
So yeah, it's a process. I always
Mhm.
say, when you get in that first year of marriage, that's a process in itself. That first year, and then the first 2 years is another process. They said the first 5 years is a process. And the seventh year, they said that's the year that they said statistically a lot of people divorce. Like it's just everything is a process.
Hmm.
What one of my girlfriends said, it's levels to this thing.
A lot of
It's
levels.
a level, it's levels. And
And that's
so
humbling. So don't
yeah.
ever get to where you think you know it all.
Or you arrived.
Yeah.
It's a process we're going through, the home buying process, the home seeking process. It's a process, even that. And yeah, everything is a process, and it can be discouraging,
Yeah.
especially when you look and see, and like you, I hate to say comparing, but you said,
I was
well,
just going to
well,
say that.
when we're gonna get our house.
Yeah, it's like one of the worst things any person or couple can do is to compare themselves or their situation to the neighbor
Right.
or
Yeah.
to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do believe, or we do believe, that if you have belief,
Hmm.
if you got to follow that belief with some action.
Yeah.
Somebody, and I wanted to do a short on this a couple of days ago, but I met someone, actually I know who she is, in Maryland, and she said, Jill, she said, I go on your website and I'm like, should I or shouldn't I click on the
The dating site.
the dating site? But she said also the recording of the workshop, how to set up your dating profile. And she said, I'm just, should. She said, but the truth of the matter is, I'm just so hesitant. I'm just so hesitant. And that goes back to number two, faith, faith. Like you gotta make a faith move. Like everything is a faith move.
Hmm.
Love is a faith move. Oh, we put a video out about that. Yeah, we just put that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a faith move.
It's a faith move, but you can't have a faith move without belief.
Nope.
Everything starts with belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee that it's going to work,
That's another thing.
but it's a
That's a
faith
huge
move.
thing. Just because you're praying for somebody to be your soulmate that you've met and you think and you hope that they're the one, don't mean they're praying to be your soulmate.
It don't mean that they think the same thing, because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, marriage is an earthly covenant
So it's like
and it's fleshly as well.
that's what makes this very unique in itself about getting there. You really got to want to be married because there's so many things that can be discouraging, but it's a part of the process.
And the truth of the matter is, say if you met somebody, if you met a guy and you believe that he's the one and he don't think that you're the one, he could be, God could have really hey Mo, God could have really ordained the two of you to be together, but we have choice.
Mm-hmm.
And he might say, I don't think so. Which goes back to, like, that's why you got to be in alignment, because you don't want to, because it could go the other way as well. You don't want to you want to definitely try the spirit by the spirit. You want to definitely be hearing from God, because because you can look just on the flesh side, the earthly part, and miss it.
Mm-hmm.
You can really miss it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And man, when the two click, when y'all both on the same page, that's when the quote unquote magic happens to me. That's
Yeah.
when it's like, whoa, like, because there's so many relationships where it's one-sided. Like, people can be together and one really ain't feeling it. And he could be, or she could be, physically in the relationship, but they really know deep down. So I remember one of my girlfriends said years ago, when she got married, right before she was about to walk down the aisle, she said, sometimes I feel like, could there have been somebody else right before she was about to get married? Needless to say, they're not married now after
Well, even
years.
Michelle Obama said she went through almost 10 years where she wasn't happy. You
Yeah.
know,
But I
so,
think that goes with the
so I mean,
process, because I think that she knew that. Well, I don't know.
I
You
mean,
just never
you just
know.
don't know. But
You
she
just
she
never
said that in
know.
an interview. She said that they asked her, were there times in her marriage where she wasn't happy? She said, "Oh yeah."
He didn't even know it. He said, "Well, I didn't know you was never unhappy when it was all." He was like, "I didn't know you wasn't unhappy." She said, "I felt like a single parent."
And it could be like that, depending on what y'all schedules are,
And what the
and
careers
yeah,
are, that's a
yeah,
process.
that's a
He got all
process.
the way to presidency.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
process.
process. Like, girl, down there on Martha's Vineyard, living large, or wherever they are. It's a process.
Yeah,
So, yep, it's discouraging. It could be
yeah.
discouraging, but the truth of the matter is that we all are experiencing some discouraging part of of a process.
I would just say find that place in your process for you to enjoy
That's
the
the
journey.
serving part.
Yeah.
Honestly, to me, for me, it's serving. Like, once, and I told this testimony over the weekend, like, when I got in my 40s and I started serving, I, like, before I knew it, I missed motherhood. Like, I started serving, like, just serving. And I was going live on Instagram, just giving out nonprofit advice and knowledge, and serving my coaching clients, and just serving. And before you knew it, my husband came. Like, when I was content in my season, when I was, yeah.
When and you know what though? See, I said the same thing. When I felt like God put me to sleep, I was in my most. I rested in Him that entire year, and there you were.
You were in alignment.
I was in alignment. Everything worked out. I wasn't worried about. It seemed like things just went through. I mean, I got so many things that year, not even trying to get them, just being in that season
of contentment, which
and
goes with alignment, being just content with the
And next thing I know, I'm sitting here learning how to text with 2 fingers because we was texting and all the time.
Yeah. It's a process, and I think once we I ain't even gonna say surrender. Once we submit and commit to the process, say, Lord, whatever you taking me through, that's how to do this morning.
As you're growing, you're going to get to a point where you're going to learn that you just need to get out of his way.
Yeah.
And release it to him to do it, because he knows how he needs to do it. He knows what he's going to do. And when you get out of his way and allow him to be God 100%, then things going to come together and you're going to be like, wow, had I known that 10 years ago,
yep.
Had I known that whenever. But it's all about the timing. It's all about how we mature and understand where we are and what we need to do to get out of his way.
I told you one of the things, and I know this sounds off, but it was the year that I decided to let my hair grow natural. And I said, I'm going to go natural. I'm just going to and it seemed like when I decided to go natural, it was like I embraced my natural state. It was literally, I felt like I was taking off the mask. I was just unveiling and just being vulnerable. And I started to enjoy the process of my hair, like getting kinky and nappy and comb couldn't get through and trying to figure out products to use. Just seeing the gray coming through, but just looking at my new curl pattern coming in. I'm still trying to grow out some of the relaxer, just chopping, doing a gradual chop. And as soon as I was embracing that, you came. And it was like I had decided I was just going to I was just going to just be my vulnerable, raw self.
God made all of us unique.
Yeah.
And as soon as you accept and love you for you, that's when love from outside can come in. If you don't love yourself, then how can someone else love you?
Yeah, I love me some Jill.
I hope so.
I love me some Jill. I be getting on my darn nerves. My nerves, especially with this weight loss thing. I'm like, girl, what's up with you? And then I go over the 7 words. Belief. Do you believe you can lose weight? What are you doing? Faith. Number 2, faith. Are you packing your lunch? What are you taking for lunch? What do you have for breakfast? Maybe you need to go to the grocery. That's just, and getting out to walk daily, getting at least my 30 minutes, like that's faith. 3, commitment. Let me tell y'all something. My coworker told me, older lady, she was like, every time you want some type of diet, she said, you just need to just be consistent. And I hear this 50 million times from so many different ways, but it was something about when she said it. When she said it across the boardroom table, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I said, you're right. You know what? You are absolutely right. So that's commitment. You got to be committed to the process. You got to be committed to the new lifestyle. Alignment. Align myself with better eating habits and align myself with people who are doing the same things and eating. Align myself with some new ideas. And what does align myself with God's word say? Self-control. Align myself. What's the 5th one? Fruitfulness. Yeah, self-control is a fruit of the spirit. Just exercise and fruitfulness. Start to love, my new lifestyle and have patience and be hopeful in it. And yeah.
And when you're doing some of these things, keep track of the season that you're in. Because sometimes you try stuff, but you don't try it long enough to get a result.
Yeah.
Because your body also has to get used to this newness and this change. Because the first thing that's going to happen is that change is going to make your body respond a certain way. Once it responds, that initial shock of saying, oh my God, she's no longer eating whatever it is, and she's eating this instead. Once you get through with that, then do it long enough for you to see what the results are and say, okay, I've been doing this now for 90 days every day, and here's what's going on. Whether your sleep is changing, your mood's changing, you're either gaining or losing weight, whatever those things are, you should be able to recognize it because you know now that you put consistent effort in, and now you can see. But if you do something this week and then next week you change it, then the week after that you change to something else, you haven't given yourself enough time with each process to know which ones work and which ones don't.
So that's even like if you decide, like say if you're going to do online dating, you gotta go through the process, see how the process, you believe that it can happen, you believe that it's possible that you could meet someone on there.
Yeah.
Now you take a faith move, you go out and do it. Now just be committed to it. If you said you sign up for 6 months, commit to that 6 months.
Yeah.
Respond to the bings and the dings and you know what I mean.
And look, the best thing that can happen is you'll get comfortable having conversations with people, and you'll learn how to refine your questions and the topics that might be important to you. That way when you do meet that person, now you know how to engage in that conversation and take it in a way that you need to take it to find out the things you need to find out about that individual.
The best thing though that can happen is that for me, my value started to adjust when I was going through the online process. My values, I started to be I was open, but I started to find out who Jill was and what Jill needs and what Jill desires. And so Terrence's profile was a measuring stick for everything. Like, this is the type of guy that I need in my life. If he doesn't have these types of qualities, then I feel like I'm settling. And I was very committed to what I needed, what I wanted, and what I deserved. And I believed that it can happen. I believe that, and I believe that all things were possible. I believe that it can happen. I believe that God ordained marriage, and I believe that he was the one. But I released it. I just released it. And so, yeah, I took my hands off of it, and it was just all about timing. It was all about faith. It was all about, serving. I was serving while I was waiting. I didn't know if it was going to even come through, but I believe that God could do anything. Of course, I can't override his will, especially when when he responded that he was not interested. I mean, his actions responded. So I just went on with life, but I didn't realize I was going through a process, and God was developing me.
And that right there is something you have to understand. Both of you are going through a process. You're going through one. He or she's going through.
And that's the thing. If you that's the takeaway. Because when we were saying in the beginning, a lot of y'all it's just a matter of timing. Mm-hmm. Can you just imagine, like, as you're waiting and you're waiting and you're serving and you're waiting and you're serving, God is taking him through a process that he might be at the faith level. He might not have commitment issues. I mean, he might have commitment issues, like not so much as like saying committed to a relationship, not cheating, but just having time. And so God is processing him. A lot of times that's what it is. God is processing the other person. And so, yeah, I had to wait for him. Wait for him to get it together.
I accept that. It is what it is.
God said, you are patient. I'm developing patience in you. You're becoming very, very fruitful. I like this fruit that you're growing, Jill. I like that. You're good in patience and, love and all of that had to develop.
But I will tell y'all this. It's worth it. To know that you went through the complete process and now you have someone that's yours, someone that's there for you, just like you're there for them, and it's worth it. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to put my ring on in the morning before I go to work.
Okay, Mrs. Smith.
Yeah. I'll be like, you know what? You got to be really bold to walk up to me, knowing, seeing I got this ring on, you're gonna come at me a certain way. Oh, so now you blind and stupid.
Yeah, they are.
Because I don't hold my tongue. I mean, I'm very professional with how I speak to people. I'm very courteous. But when somebody step across the line, you have to make sure they understand they just stepped across the line, and I put them right back on the other side of that line.
They don't want to cross
Quick.
me, Mrs. Smith. I ain't even worried. They don't want to cross me.
So yeah, it's
They do
like
not want
nope.
that. So, but
Yeah, you got to hit them in the nose when they say stuff like that. Oh, really? So you can't see this big old ring right here?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but it's a process. We all going through it, y'all.
Yeah.
And
we're still going through a process.
oh my gosh,
We're still going through processes.
Yeah, when I tell you just the this for me, the discouraging one is, like I said, the weight loss process. Like, I'd be like trying so hard, but I mean, now I'm not going through the 7. I'm like, okay, my issue is in the commitment part. I'm not committed enough. And so
I'm gonna help out, y'all. I'm gonna help out. I just been waiting on her to say, okay, husband. Because I remember
and I haven't said it yet.
I remember when we first started walking, she said, I don't need Sergeant Smith. I want my husband's. I said, oh, okay, I'll back up. That's all you. Do you, boo? Hey, I can cheer for you.
I have not asked for Sergeant Smith yet.
She's not asked for me to help her yet. So
but I did say we want to go walking this weekend because we haven't walked in a long time.
Yeah.
So I do want to do that. But yeah, so I mean, it's easy to say don't get discouraged, but find your hope. Find your, find that hope, hope in God, and and know that He can do anything. I say all the time. My sister said, we know God could do anything just because He gave this one a husband. Talking about me, He gave this one a husband.
You know what? My whole family come up to me and say stuff like that all the time. Hey, so you married Jill?
You really married her?
For real? Yeah. Okay. All right, man.
I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah,
that's what they. I'm gonna pray for you.
It's like, what has she been doing to the family?
Very, 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 very hard. Very, very stubborn and very set in my ways. And it goes across everybody. Everybody get the same treatment. You either love her or you hate her.
Yeah, they come to me like, hey, so you're Terrence. Like, okay. Did I do something wrong? No, you married Jill.
But what did my brother-in-law say? Oh, you got a good one. Didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you got a good one.
He did.
And your sister said
but
that.
But you know what, though? Hindsight being 2020. Looking back on that conversation, he might have been trying to get me to help him out.
Yeah, that too. That didn't work.
He might have been saying, hey, man, hook a brother up.
That didn't work.
But it was all good.
So y'all.
But with that being said, look, we hope this has been eye-opening. We hope that it's been helpful.
Yeah.
So how do y'all feel about this? What do y'all think about processes? Tell us what you think.
Mo, what you think about the process? And if y'all need prayer, please hit us up, terrenceandjill@gmail.com.
Yeah, we definitely don't have a problem praying with people, coming in agreement with you on something. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And get some people who you can align with, because the worst thing you can have is, people in your ear say, girl, I've been there, done that. I ain't doing that no more. Or, when people just say, you ain't married yet. You are in belief stage, but your story is very helpful. You are in belief. Do you believe? You don't believe? What's the belief? Do you believe that God can? What's the belief stage? This process is exactly where I am right now. Yeah. Once you know where you are, of course, prayer and fasting.
So my family thought I was going through something. They was coming up to me like every time we had a cookout or something. Why come you by yourself? Why come you didn't bring somebody? Are you sure you okay? What's wrong? They all thought I was a project that they needed to help, But then when they saw her, it's like, wait a minute, when did this happen? Because they were shocked. They didn't even know that I was seeing anybody.
Wow, you said you're having difficulty believing that it can still happen for you.
Mm. I
Mm.
went through that a little bit. I
And
thought
and
that
and I did too.
I was guilty of a sin or something and it was going to just prevent me from being with somebody. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. And this is the thing, though. I never doubted that God could do anything. I just didn't think that it was maybe not for me. Maybe he didn't want it for me. But God gives us the desires of our hearts, and he ordains marriage. So if you desire it,
right,
and you ask it, God said he gives you the desire. Ask. And it, and so the point is that now what we have been talking about for the last year is, like, all last year we talked about how the enemy blocks it. And how the enemy, so you got to know the schemes. That's the word. You've got to know the schemes of the enemy, because you want it. God ordains it. Now what's probably happening is that the enemy is doing all kind of tactics, from generational beliefs and curses to no good dudes just coming up and on assignment to hurt your feelings. And so you've got to know the schemes of the enemy, because that's probably what is challenging your belief.
And for those of you that are saying that you're asking God when, ask yourself or ask God, is there something that you haven't learned yet? And then pay attention to what your dreams are.
Yes.
Because God will reveal in your dream a scenario to tell you what's going on and where you are right now in your process through the spirit realm. And if you don't know how to interpret that dream, then hit Jill up in our email and tell her what the dream is.
Yeah, I'm good at interpreting dreams. But also, you got to get into a lot of prayer and fasting, because there's some things that has to break in the spirit realm. Literally, and we talked about this so much last year. Literally, you can go to, I don't know, the 7-Eleven tomorrow on the way to work, getting your gas. You run in to get coffee, and the person God has for you is in there as well, standing next to you, getting coffee. But you can literally be blinded and not see the person. You can be blinded and not see the person. Yeah. And so you gotta, the enemy's that's one of the biggest things that he tries to stop. He tries to stop godly covenants. Everything that God did was in pairs. When he sent people out, it was in pairs. So the enemy is trying to prevent your mate, you and your mate, because when 2 or 3 come together, we're forced to be reckoned with. Like, we're powerful.
And when you come together with your soulmate, the one you're married to, that's the strongest agreement that you can have.
Yes, it's the strongest, and besides your agreement with the Father,
right.
But because what comes out of that usually is children. Is more, you're fruitful, you're being fruitful and multiplying. So you got to be very, very, it's bigger than, it's the process, but the belief part is deep. And that's why it's going to take us a while to come to really build out the framework, because belief comes with strongholds being broken. It is really a spiritual encounter. And if you're stuck at belief, that's a good thing. You know where you are. I would definitely say, look at every scripture in the Word of God that has to do with belief.
Yes.
Start praying and fasting. And because if you don't believe that God can do it for you, the enemy somewhere is seeped into your mind that he's making you doubt it.
Yeah, because the first thing he's going to do is challenge your identity.
We always pray that too, Grace. I always pray that we're at the right place at the right time,
Doing the right thing,
doing the right
people for the right reason.
For the right reason, according to God's perfect will. Yep. And that's also has to do with alignment. Like alignment. That's why we put alignment in there, making sure that we're aligned at the right place at the right time. That's providence. That's what providence is.
That's also why when something happens and it slows you up or it prevents you from getting somewhere by a certain time, praise God for it. Because if you're in line and you're waiting, that just means he prevented something that could have been negatively about to happen up the road. And now he's getting you through that. The Holy Spirit's guiding you around that by preventing you from going through what would have been harmful for you.
Yes. Yep. This morning, I left my phone upstairs. I was like, what the heck? And I said, you know what, Lord, thank you for the delay. But this week also, somebody who hadn't talked to me in probably a year or more text me, hey Jill, I need you got $30 I could borrow. I'm gonna give it back. And the enemy would say, she ain't talked to you in a whole year. Now all of a sudden, now when she needs something, devil, you ain't blocking my blessing. What's your cash? What's your Zelle? What is it? Because I'm about to send you this money. You will not block my blessing, devil. You will not block my blessing. I'm going to get, because if your pride, if you must really need the money, and I'm not going to look at the negative part of me saying, how dare she? Nope. What's your Zelle? Let me send you this money. Matter of fact, you said 30, I'm gonna give you 40. That's right. And so it's little things like that. Like somebody need a ride somewhere. Oh, I need a ride to work. Yup, let me go over there. Let me go take her to work, because it could be in that path that I meet my husband.
Because if he was where you at, you'd already met him.
See? So yeah, it's just little things and just being prayerful and being in tune to the Holy Spirit. Yep. Divine delay. I know that's right. Divine delays and divine encounters. Divine appointments. So yep. So you'd be surprised. You know, your laziness. I don't feel like going to her birthday celebration. Every year she got something going on. I don't feel like let me find something to wear. Let me find something to wear to this birthday. So I don't know anything. Anybody could be. My husband can be there.
Hey, sometimes you just might need to walk in and say hello to everybody. Get you some punch. And then go home if you're gonna go home. But at least you went there. Yeah. At least you went there.
Yep. That's right.
Give God the opportunity to say, no, I got him.
Lord, if my husband is going to be here.
If she only going to be there for 10 minutes, I'm going to put him at the door. So she got to see him as soon as she walks in.
Lord, if my husband going to be here, Lord, make sure he sees me. Make sure I'm confident. Make sure I'm at my best. Yep. That's right. Because you just never know. All things are possible. Any moment, it could happen. Any moment, at any time, it can happen. We could literally hang up right now, and a friend of a friend could say, I want to introduce you to somebody. And you say, okay, well, give him my number. And y'all on the phone all night. Next thing you know, 6 months later, a year from now, y'all walking down the aisle. You just never know. But all things are possible. And that's where belief comes in. So. All right, Mrs. Smith, it's 9 o'clock.
Yep, we're going to let y'all go.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. We miss y'all. So this has been awesome to be able to hang out with you guys for an hour. Yes. So with that being said, though.
Well, I hope y'all, don't forget, if y'all want to join me on the virtual masterclass next Saturday, the 13th, if you are called to serve in the marketplace, anytime you're exchanging money, whatever type of money you exchange, if somebody's giving you a donation, if they're asking you to come speak somewhere, if there's an exchange of money, you need to be set up as a legal entity. So yes, I would love for you all to come on my platform and see what I do. One of the things I do best, serve. All right, Terrence won't be there. He'll pop in. All right, but that's it for us.
Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes. All right.
Deuces.
Deuces.